What is going on, everybody? My name is Dakota, and welcome back to Coda's Cologne. And today we're going to be looking at a brand new fragrance, new to me and fairly new to the fragrance world. It is by a company called SPHINX. This is Tabac Citron Vanille. I won this in a raffle. I've never even heard of this brand before. I've never seen anything about this. And I won a raffle, and they gave me a few options to pick from. And I thought, well, for $10, why don't we go ahead and get something I've never even heard of before? So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. Is we're gonna be looking at SPHINX fragrances. This is Tabac Citron Vanille. So yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty. So as we like to do, we are gonna start off by showing off the atomizer. And the atomizer on this is actually really good. It's pressurized. It's got a good center burst to it. It's pretty decent. But I will say, I don't know. I can't say that it's pretty good, actually. I will say, every 6 or 7 sprays on this one, something weird happens, and the atomizer just kind of spits the fragrance out rather than like spraying it out. I don't know if I have like a hole in my pickup tube, or maybe if it's just something weird. So when you first spray this fragrance, the one thing I noticed is I don't really have anything that smells similar to this. If I do, I wasn't really able to pick up on it. When I looked through the notes breakdown, whenever I decided to try this, the note breakdown, I kind of had a thought of what this might smell like, and I was way wrong on what I thought it was going to be. Nonetheless, though, this is still actually a very good overall fragrance. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put 2 there on the wrist, get this drying down a little bit. Now, I have worn this fragrance 2 to 3 times before I did this video. Since it was a brand new fragrance, it was a brand new house, brand new everything that I've never even heard of, I kind of wanted to give this a few wears before I did a review on it. As this is drying down, we're going to go ahead and get this bottle spinning up, and we'll get a note breakdown. Alrighty, as we get this bottle spinning up, the note breakdown on this is kind of lengthy, so I'm going to have to kind of go through these quickly. The top notes are going to be Amalfi lemon, orange blossom, bergamot, and mandarin orange. So that's what's going to give this such a heavy dose of citrus when you first spray it. The middle notes is going to be a heliotrope, jasmine, lily of the valley, cinnamon, and cardamom. And to me, as this dries down, when some of that warm spicy comes through, the cinnamon and the lily of the valley, it's like a floral spicy. It's like a floral warm spicy. It's a really weird blend, but it really works well. And then that is going to fall us down to the base notes of tobacco, vanilla, tonka bean, patchouli, honey, sandalwood, and vetiver. As I'm going to mention, the blend of this fragrance is absolutely beautiful. It's wild how it has such a citronous, floral, sweet with a hint of tobacco. Like it's just weird how they were able to pull this off so well. And I gotta say, me personally, the more I wear this, the more I like it. But anyway, so I'm gonna get y'all flipped back around, and we will get on with the review. Alrighty, and we are back. We gave it a little bit of time, as we like to do. And the one thing I'll say about this fragrance is the more it dries down, the more it changes. And what's hard is it has, as we just went through, it has a very lengthy note breakdown. It is really hard to pick out any one particular note through this entire fragrance. They did a wonderful job blending this, because normally whenever you have that many notes on one fragrance, it either turns into a beautiful creation of a fragrance or it turns into just a mess. To me, this fragrance goes a lot of places, but it's not scatterbrained, I guess would be the best way you could put it. Because when you first spray it, it's very sweet. It's very citrusy. You get a little bit of floral. You do get some of that sweetness, and the sweetness to me is a little more of a fusion of sweets, because this almost has a little bit of like a fruity. It's not candy sweet, but it's not bubblegum sweet. Like, I don't know. The people who blended this know exactly how to make someone be confused on a fragrance. And that's almost the tricky part about trying to review this. It's hard trying to pinpoint exactly how to put into words what you get from this. This might be one of the few fragrances that's kind of tripped me up a little bit on trying to describe it. When you first spray it on the opening, you get a lot of sweetness, you get a lot of citriness, you get a little bit of spicy almost. And then as it dries down, some warmth comes through. There's notes that you think might be tobacco starting to pull through, but they never really shine all the way through. Like, this has a hint of tobacco. I would be hard pressed to call this tobacco fragrance. Now, when I wore this to work, I layered it up. And when I layered it, a friend of mine who was at work told me that to him it smelled a little cotton candy sweet. Well, when I layered it up, my nose went a different direction. I thought I could pick up more on like some of the honey. I could pick up a little more of the vetiver, and that tobacco note got a little bit stronger. Not a lot stronger, but just a little bit stronger. All in all, this fragrance has a beautiful blend of a little woody, but it's sweet, but it's not overbearing. This is a bold fragrance. It's kind of an in-your-face fragrance, so it's hard to describe exactly what this is. Speaking of hard to describe, we're going to go ahead and get to the price and availability of this. Availability wise, like I said, I won this in a raffle, and I've checked on their website and I've checked around. That I know of, I think the only place to get this right now is on their website. I don't know of any discount codes, so I can't even say of a discounted price. But I know this bottle, they only sell a 10 ml sample and a 100 ml bottle. And this bottle was 114. Now, for the fragrance that you get, for the price and the value, I actually think that's pretty solid. But yeah, just trying to find this. If you're not someone who may already know about it, or you know someone that has one, this might be a little tricky to find. Like I said, this bottle came, or this fragrance, the house as a whole is actually new. I want to say the house launched in 2022, so they've got, I think, 12 or 13 different fragrances. 5 or 6 came out last year. Another 5 or 6 came out this year. So all in all, I really like this. Like I said, it's a newer house. It was kind of a go in blind on it, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I was able to find this. And to me, $114 for this honestly seems kind of fair. And then so we'll bleed into the performance side of this. That way I can kind of justify that price a little bit. So longevity on this for me is about 7 to 8 hours, and that's with a refresh. That's at 6 to 8 spray range. The sillage on this is very good. This is a scent that wants to boast itself. So the sillage is in that 2 to 3 foot range. The projection on this is in the 1 to 2 foot range. It does, so the projection wise, it does kind of set closer to the skin. But the sillage, whenever you're up and moving around, this smell trail is very good. But yeah, and then this one, if you're someone that does want to start trying to refresh a fragrance and kind of layer it on itself, this one does a bigger change almost the second time around than it does the first time around. I think this has such a lengthy blend of notes, and the second time around, I feel like you get more on this one. You kind of get more of a pure blend of all the notes because maybe you already have like a base layer there. So I would highly recommend if you wanted to go this route and you wanted to give this a try, which I recommend you do. Now, SPHINX does sell a discovery set, and I think you get all 12 of their fragrances, and it's like $65. If you don't want to blind buy something like this, I completely understand. I would never spend a $100 blind buy myself, but I would try their discovery set. I actually plan on purchasing that, and if that's something y'all want to see, I can gladly review the discovery set if you'd like. But yeah, that is going to get us wrapping up. We're going to get into the final thoughts and the wrap up on this. If I had to give this fragrance a rating, I would give it an 8.5. And the reason I would get an 8.5 is for the blend of this, the way this fragrance is set up. I do kind of wish the tobacco note was just a little bit heavier in this. And then for the extrait de parfum, what this is supposed to be, even though it does give me 7 to 8 hours, I kind of feel like it should be a little bit stouter. Now, the only complaint I have on that, and this is, so I kind of docked like 0.5 for all three, and this will get to my third, little deduction, is when this fragrance does start to wean, like when it finally does get to that 7 to 8 hour range, it falls off your skin. It goes from being very noticeable, very present, to gone, to non-existent. And to me, that's kind of funny, because normally when it dries all the way down, normally you can get like a skin scent. After about the 9 to 10 hour range, I had a hard time even finding this as a skin scent. But for the 7 to 8 hours that it was on me, it was pumping, it was projecting, it was doing good. Like when I first put this on, I was like, oh wow, this may be a 13, 14 hour fragrance. And that's the only thing that I'm going to give them that small knock for, is that normally when it dries down to a skin scent, it kind of slowly loses some luster. This one went downhill quick. Like this one was riding high, doing good, and then gone. But yeah, even with that being said, though, an 8-hour fragrance to me, that is still a solid performer. Now, for some people, it may go a lot further than that. Unfortunately, for some people, it may go less than that. You know, everybody's skin's so different that it's kind of hard to get a judge on that. So 8.5 is going to be my final on this. Scent profile wise, I actually really enjoy this. It's kind of hard for me to find a citrusy fragrance that performs very well on me. For some reason, a lot of the citrus notes tend to not do well for me, but this one, for those citrus top notes on this, actually did extraordinarily well, and I'm actually really excited about that. I really like this fragrance. When I finally wear this one up, because I actually plan on wearing this up, because to me this is going to be a fall and winter fragrance. Even though it's real heavy on the citrus, it has such a deep dark feeling to it, and it has, all the way on the dry down, it has such a warm darkness to it. To me, this is going to be like a perfect fall and winter fragrance. So I'll probably be wearing this and hitting this up several times in the near future. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get on this real quick. And then, as always, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the subscribes. I'm loving the comments. My comment section is starting to grow a little bit, and I genuinely appreciate that. So thank you everyone, and we will see you next time.